What you are about.
At St. Cloud State University, athletics are more than just games. They're an essential part of the Husky experience. From D1 hockey games to championship-winning wrestling, volleyball, and more, there's Husky pride in every corner of campus. Whether you're on the field, in the stands, or cheering from the student section, you're a part of something big. And the best part? SDSU is close to home, affordable, and packed with community that's got your back, in class and on the court. Come see what it means to be a Husky. Schedule your campus tour today at St. Cloud State University, the home of the Huskies.
To hear will blow your mind and give you six-pack abs without even exercising.
Pull up a bar stool and relax.
Hey, who wants to have some fun?
You've made it to Happy Hour with John Gaskins.
Oh, no. Not again.
Get ready for entertaining local and regional sports talk that will change your life. Or not.
And by the way, when you're telling these little stories, here's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
Here's your host, John Gaskins.
Here's Johnny. Hello!
Ah! I'm back, baby! I'm back!
Oh my God, I gotta watch this header.
This is good.
Holy smokes.
Look at that.
Oh my God.
Isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
Over the back.
Oh! Beautiful, artistic, elegant, extraordinary.
Harry Kane, baby.
Phenomenal, amazing, brilliant.
Look at this.
Sublime.
And Cordell's getting it in, too.
Yeah, it's World Cup soccer. What can I say? England just scored. What are we even doing here?
This is the best match of the first
weekend. Why are we even doing a show? Why are we even doing? Why do any of us work? It's the World Cup. The whole. We should just be on on break from life.
Do you want to know the answer?
Wall to wall every day. What?
Well, why we're here?
Yeah.
It's because you decided we were going to move it up a day.
That is true. Hi, Trent.
I do it, John.
It's Trent Singer. It's
Cheers,
Thirsty
sir.
Thursday, moved up a day to Wednesday. But before we
Whiskey Wednesday.
Before we watch this, well, not really, because they don't have whiskey at the Orion Pub here in downtown Sioux Falls. They just have Miller High Life Pony Keg. Well, it's not a pony keg; it's a pony.
That's why we love it, John.
Bottle, and you're going with once again the Lagunitas Hoppy Refresher.
Yep. Went a little overboard.
Non-alcoholic
Monday, so
drink. Well, yeah, I was going to say,
down.
had we not opened with that banger of a World Cup goal, which it's just coming out of their ears right now. I walked
2-1,
in
England.
5 minutes ago, and you were genuflecting over a Croatian goal.
Yeah. This is
but
a good game.
I would have opened the show with, oh my God, it's a miracle. Trent is here. He's recovered. He's been released from jail after being arrested for belligerent behavior at Buffalo Wild Wings the other night. Taking Cotton Eye Joe to a whole nother level.
Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah, just ripping that shirt off and twirling it around.
I will say,
dropping the jaws of all the fellow customers at Buffalo Wild Wings. And then when you got on top of the bar and danced around and then did upside down keg stands, that was kind of. And then took your pants off. That was just they had about enough of you.
It wasn't the alcohol that did it for me, though. It was those mango habanero wings.
Well, yeah, that and all the World Cup goals. We were just having a good time shooting the breeze. Our first annual Sioux Falls Live
end of year
sports dude bash.
Sports dude bash.
Me and Trent and Cordell and Matt Zimmer, the boss, and Zach Borg, and we couldn't get through a sentence talking to one another. I mean, we're sports guys who work in the media, so we're interrupting each other all the time anyway. But we couldn't get through one sentence without Trent going, "Oh my God!"
That was a great game.
Because there was another goal. Which one was that? I forget.
was Iran and
yeah.
Oh, I can't remember who they're playing right now.
That's okay. It's all right. Well, so don't let our local sports talk get in the way of your World Cup viewing here today.
I won't.
At Orion. It's, by the way, and you were here for the Team USA game.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a really cool environment here, and ran into sitting at the bar, and as you do at Orion, you meet somebody new every time.
Absolutely.
And two gentlemen were sitting next. I was with my wife. Two gentlemen sat next to me, and started chatting it up with them, and come to find out they were former USF football players. That was really cool.
Yeah, you made some new friends. Isn't that great?
Yes.
And like I said with Zim the other day, whether it's here downtown, and really, if you're going to be downtown and you want to catch some World Cup soccer as part of your downtown going out experience, this is the place. They're going to have the World Cup games on, whether USA is playing or not. They're going to have almost every Twins game on the television as well. They got great tunes playing.
So Friday they play at noon.
They do.
And I'm trying to decide.
It's at 2.
No, I think it's at noon.
It's at 2. Cordell, you be the judge.
Yeah, why don't you look at? Can you confirm that for me?
They're playing.
Is
Thank
it 2,
you.
really?
It's at 2. I win. God. You owe me another High Life pony.
All right. Well,
what?
But I'm trying to decide. Should I go here, Craven?
Yeah.
Wife's off work. It's Juneteenth. She's off for that day, and we're gonna go out and watch the game somewhere.
There is no bad answer.
There really is.
There is no bad.
It was
answer
awesome here. I mean, it wasn't like an official watch party or anything, but
no. But I mean, this is a smaller bar, so this is wonderful. Like Vikings Sunday morning games. You think, are there going to really be 50 people showing up for a Vikings 8 a.m. game? Yes. Yeah. At Orion there is.
For sure,
yeah, with potluck breakfast.
Yes.
Twins opening day, there's always kind of a potluck thing, and of course the Timberwolves watch parties. So if it's a big sporting event, that's a great gathering place for community.
Yep.
It's going to happen downtown here at the Orion. Now, as we mentioned last week, Craven over on 69th and Louise, they have the American Outlaws. Official watch parties. They got a lot of space. Hundreds of people will be there. Well, I don't know, dozens at least.
Yeah.
And indoor, outdoor, get there early. Like, that's really the hot spot.
Might do great.
Yeah, if you're in the hood, like for me, I was thinking go down to Craven for a little bit and then come back here, and then I could walk home.
Right.
You
Yes.
know? Okay.
See,
so maybe you want to do it?
big brain
We could do a little tour of the city.
Should we do it together?
You and I
Let's
could do
do
a
it.
tour of the city, and
Let's
we could do that.
My wife will be tagging along, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know if she likes me or not, so I guess we'll have to.
She
we'll have to
tolerates
decide.
you.
Okay. Yeah, she kind of gave me a look that one time in the Augustana hockey beer line, but that's maybe had nothing to do with me. Right. Well, hey, I'm not the one that picked him up from jail, so. And I'm not the one to be mad at with that one. It's your fault you're doing Cotton Eye Joe and taking your pants off at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Signed up for it almost 2 years ago. She signed up for that. So.
Well, we have a fun show today after we get through stuff like Summit League tournament and the Summit League period. Sticking with the Midco streaming and the CBS Sports Network. Hotly controversial, I think, thing amongst the fans of the Jackrabbits and Coyotes and a few other local sports pop-up headlines from the week. Ryan McKnight is the president of the JFPA, Jackrabbit Former Players Association, and we're just going to talk a lot of Jackrabbit football. Few people are more connected to the program than him and have more informed, and I don't give bleeps what you think about it opinions on how the Jackrabbits will perform this year.
Those are perfect.
He's kind of high on them, not shockingly. How well the Bison will do in the FBS, if and when the Jacks should ever join the Bison there, and the Sorsby thing, and really good dude. Ryan McKnight kind of playing a big part in helping SDSU be able to afford the kinds of things that you have to be able to afford that come along with playing college football these days. So they try to raise a lot of money and get the Benjamins from those guys making the 6 and 7 figures in the NFL.
They're the guys who do the big, tailgate.
Yes. Yeah, they do. They've
seen that stuff.
Yep.
Holy cow.
He started the huge tailgate at the Dana, and they'll have a big football and cheerleading camp on Friday, June 26th at Sanford Crossing, and then they have their big golf tournament. A lot of Jackrabbit A-listers will be there.
Yeah.
All right, Tears of a Clown. I mean, we just go from Simon and Garfunkel to the Temptations.
It's been killing it here.
Thomas is here.
Thomas.
Yep.
He's wearing his Rage Against the Machine shirt
That's
back
right.
there. You expect this.
What do you got there?
I think I wore this once. My buddy Jason Heater, phenomenal musician from Cape Girardeau, played music at Southeast Missouri State. Check his music out. You guys can find his music online. He's amazing. He's amazing. Jason Heater.
Heter.
Got it, Cordell?
You know, if I go to one of his shows, you know what I'm going to yell out at some point between songs? Come on, Jason. Give him the heater. And I've got Canaries. Jose Cuervo. No, it's a
Corona.
Corona. It's a Corona-style Canaries shirt. Thank you. I've worn it before. We don't need to pay too much
What's funny
attention.
is I used to go see Heater live, and I would stand in the back.
Yeah.
And one time I went back and visited. I used to always do this, and so he'd always know that I was there watching him. But one time I came back and visited, he didn't know I was back in Cape. And he's playing a show at the Rude Dog and finishes the song, and from the back of the bar I just shout, "Hell yeah! Hell yeah, man!" Just a thick Southern drawl, and he stops and he goes, "All right, we're gonna take a break." And he took a break to come give me a hug and say hi, and he just knew I was there.
Oh, that's
It was
nice.
my way of letting him know I was there.
By the way, every week with Trent, Thirsty Thursday, in this case Wednesday, you have to have at least one translation from his former stops in life.
Cape Girardeau.
So the Cape would be Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Cape Girardeau,
There
Missouri,
you go.
Southeast Missouri State. Yep.
Okay.
My fault.
It's all right, buddy. It's okay. Why don't you just watch some soccer? I'll take
I am.
it. Yeah, I know you are. I don't think a lot of Jackrabbit and Coyote fans are happy about how they will be consuming their Summit League basketball this year.
Oh, they're never happy.
That's true. They're going to consume it anyway, and I think a lot of people who are complaining the last 24 hours since we heard of the new streaming and TV deal that the league agreed to, that they're probably just, they'll bite the bullet anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But in case you didn't hear, last 3 seasons, you'd be able to stream every Summit League game. They call it the Summit League Network, but it's the carrier's Midco Sports.
Yep.
And Midco Sports Plus, if you want to, your laptop, your phone, your television, if you're able to swing that. The same way you can get the Midwest Sports Plus app and enjoy our program here on Happy Hour and a lot of high school games on Midwest Sports Plus. And the TV carrier, national television-wise, has been CBS Sports Network. Now, of course, since 2009, when the Summit League tournament was first here, the tourney was carried, the championship for the men's game almost every year on ESPN2, the women's game on ESPNU. And during the regular season for the streaming, it was ESPN Plus. That's the only way you could get it, as far as I recall. And anyway, they switched gears the last 3 years. You now have to get the Midwest Sports Plus app. You can't get Summit League games on ESPN Plus during the season. And then when the tournament rolls around, once again, all the first couple days, including quarterfinals, are on Midco Sports Network. But then when you get into the semifinals, the men's games are now on CBS Sports Network. And the women's semifinals are on Midco Sports Network. And then the championship games are both on CBS Sports. You get more nationally televised games, but you get it on a less popular carrier and brand in the new way, the new deal. And the last couple of years, they've added in several, and they're going to say in this new stretch, 7 to 9 regular season games on CBS Sports Network. So basically, everything remains status quo. It was, by the way, according to John Schemmel, the USD Athletic Director, a 7-0-1 vote amongst the Summit League presidents. So via, let's just say, strong recommendations from their athletic directors.
I was going to say, is it voted by the
It is.
president?
A lot of these matters are voted by the presidents, but representing the athletic department. So anyway, that's the deal.
What's the one? 7-0-1? What, somebody abstained?
Somebody didn't vote.
Yeah, just abstained. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the backdrop. What do you think?
I mean, look, a lot of people don't like this CBS Sports Network thing. I personally do. I don't subscribe to Midco Sports Plus for any Summit League stuff. I only do it for the CCHA package. So I like, when I hear that a game is nationally broadcasted on CBS Sports Network, I'm able to watch it. I have YouTube TV. A lot of these carriers now, when you talk about these cable packages that are run through, Hulu, Fubo, they got all sorts of them now. Sling, Tubi. All these packages carry CBS Sports Network. So I like it from that angle. Personally, I like to have more games on CBS Sports Network. I like their crew. I think they do obviously a good job. I think they're all produced by Midco regardless, right? Doesn't Midco still produce it even if it airs on CBS Sports Network and they don't have their on-air personalities?
Say that again. I'm looking up some numbers.
If it's carried on CBS Sports Network and it's a Summit League game, it's still Midco produced, correct?
That I don't know. I mean,
I always thought it was.
The announcers are CBS.
The announcers are CBS Sports Network for sure.
Network, yes. The cameras are all in the same spot, so it's not like CBS brings in their own cameras. So I would assume, they're using all the cameras and the crew folks at Midco.
I think the reality, though, is that nobody's going to be happy with it because of what they used to have with ESPN Plus. It was a lower monthly rate. then you come over to Midco and it's like, God, what is it, $15-20 a month?
It's about 15 now, and as recently as 3 years ago, you could get Midco Sports Plus.
$10.
$7.
Was it $7?
I mean, like 2 or 3 years ago, it was $7. I mean, it's maybe been 10 the last couple of years. I'll be honest, I haven't had it the last couple of years.
I haven't either. So I use it for the CCHA stuff. CCHA came onto Midco Sports as well. And when that one happened, a lot of people across CCHA fan bases were very hesitant about it. And I was kind of more pro, like, this is good, this is better. I like this more than Flow. Flow was $30 a month, I think. Now you come over, and I thought the rates were going to be lower. They're not really all that much lower. I think it's around $24 a month for just the CCHA package. And, people previously, you had Flow Hockey, had access to so many other hockey games. For some of these markets, it mattered. I think it's a similar take for people. They like what they had with ESPN Plus. I think a lot of people, that's the main drawback, that people don't like, it being on Midco. And I'll be honest, like, I've used the Midco Sports Plus app before. Is it perfect? No. Could it use some improvements? Absolutely. I don't think it's all as bad as people have made it out to be. I think the common ground is somewhere in the middle. It's probably pretty lucrative for the conference, I would guess.
Yeah.
And for the schools.
This is with Midco being a local broadcasting company and carrier, we have to be careful here because we don't work for Midco. We work for a different broadcasting and streaming company.
Yeah.
And yet we obviously know plenty of the dudes who do work or have worked there. They do a wonderful job of televising Jackrabbit and Coyote basketball games. They've always been excellent with Summit League tournament games, and I think it is unfortunate that with the way CBS Sports Network works, it's just a couple fewer games that are on Midco in the Summit League tournament that are broadcasted by guys who have been doing it all year and know the teams so very well. Yep. And let's face it, in most women's basketball cases, over the history of the 18 years in the Summit, in the Sioux Falls, it's been the Jackrabbits and/or the Coyotes in those games, and
they love mixing them up. The national people do.
Well, I mean, with the women, you're still going to get it all the way through the semifinals,
yeah.
And then the national people would always fly in. We didn't complain about that back in the day. I mean, it was unfortunate, but we all thought it was pretty cool. ESPN2, that's a big deal. Yep. ESPNU for the women on a Tuesday afternoon. Who's watching that? Probably very few people, but still, it's an ESPN brand, and whatever. That's cool. You're the Summit League. You get what you can get. And so, again, I'm going to start this by saying Midco's broadcasters and technical crew, the production, the pregame, postgame, excellent. Okay, they do a wonderful job. But as far as their streaming goes, and just compare that to the streaming, we're talking about two different things, really, but it all comes as a package. I have ESPN Plus. I've had it for a long time. I want to watch a 30 for 30 whenever I can.
Yep.
Anything else that they produce, but certainly it's also nice because ESPN Plus is still the carrier of Missouri Valley Football Conference games. Mm-hmm. So for years and years and years, if I wanted to, and often did because it's part of my job to watch Jackrabbit and Coyote football, most games are on ESPN Plus. Great, I can watch it from the comfort from my own home. Mm-hmm. It's lovely. And then basketball season hits, and anytime I want to watch a Jackrabbit or Coyote basketball game, there they are. At least in the in-league games, that's right there for me. Same app. I'm not paying any extra for any more apps. And now, if I want to watch basketball, I got to pay for a different app. It's nothing against the production or the company. Here's another app. A lot of us have, and it's our choice. We're paying for it. Yep. But Netflix, Amazon Prime, I got Peacock. I got Peacock because I love Saturday Night Live and some of their documentaries, and a lot of Big Ten Husker sports are on Peacock now, so I got to get that. And it goes on and on and on. So it's just another app. And oh, by the way, we're trying to get you, the local sports fan, to carry the Midwest Sports Plus app for a low price of about $10 a month for live sports and some of our other programming that you can get on your TV. So we're part of that world as well. But I don't like it because I liked having everything on ESPN Plus all right there. Yep. And I do think brand recognition matters for the games that are on national TV. And I get that you get a lot more games on national TV with CBS Sports Network. 2 in the Summit League tournament, 7 or 9 in the regular season. More exposure is more exposure, and that's a big reason why John Schemmel and these other athletic directors said yes. But their number one reason is revenue, okay? Because you're going to get more money. They have gotten more money that comes into each and every school with these TV media rights deals. And I don't think we need to give a thorough explanation of how badly any athletic department at any college in America, but particularly mid-majors like USD and SDSU, need income from wherever they can get it, because it's really expensive to keep up in the arms race of college athletics these days. And it starts with TV money, whether you're the Big Ten, the SEC, or the Summit League. And so that's, and Schemmel did not deny that. That's the driving force, because of the Midco Sports Plus app and whatever CBS is offering to carry all these games on CBS Sports Network. That's why they're going with it. They don't really care. I'm not going to say they don't care what the fans want, but they know the fans are going to
watch it.
Yeah.
And that's why you see a 701 vote on that, too, because the money matters, and the money is the reason behind this. I think just from a fan's perspective, and you touched on it, you said it, it is so nauseating.
It is.
These days when you're switching between, so many different apps and I don't know that there's so much as far as a brand recognition and giving your university or your athletics programs, because this is all like Olympic sports. I mean, other games outside of just basketball air on the Summit League Sports Network. You're talking about softball, baseball, all that stuff. Then you only so many people are watching it.
Yeah.
But that's kind of their point. They want to target that audience, people who are familiar with Midco and familiar with the work that they've done. And I get that. I get it from that perspective. I just think, to echo what you were saying, it is a lot when you're just to have so many different apps and so many different streaming services. I don't pay for it. So the reason I don't pay for it is because, I another one to throw on there, and it's not like $10. It's $20, $30.
I mean, I'll get personal myself. Like we talk a lot of Jackson Yotes basketball after every game during the Summit League season, and we talk about it even more, and it gets hotter and heavier as we ramp up into the Summit League tournament. I used to watch several of the regular season games that I don't attend, and I don't attend most of them. They're in Vermilion and Brookings, and it used to be, well, I go and I can watch it on TV. It's like a lot of fans. But also, I'm calling high school basketball games 2 or 3 times a week, calling USF games every other weekend this past year. Huskers are on a couple times a week as well. I'm a big fan. So I guess if I can't watch these games live or flip back from the Jacks game to the Huskers game, if I'm actually at home and not working on that winter's day or evening, I'll watch the highlights the next day. I'll read about it the next day.
I wonder how much.
I'll listen. By the way, I should mention this, and this happens quite often. Check the score, no matter what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And if I'm there and present and able to do it, flip on the old radio or the webcast and listen to Tyler Merriam and John Thir call the end of these games, and they're terrific at it. Mm-hmm. And I'm an old school radio guy that likes to hear the guy paint the picture anyway. So I do all that instead of get another app to add on to my life for $15 a month, when I know I'm not going to be using that app for 9 of the months a year.
I don't think it's any secret, though, too, what Midco has moved towards, right? This has been kind of their bread and butter now, right? They want to focus strictly on these college programs, and
they get money from streaming, and we all know they've been cutting costs for paying broadcasters full time.
All I'm saying is you know that they were 100% all in on trying to get this through, and so kudos to them for that for sure. And I think people know what Midco is around here too, right? Like there's something to that, and I think these universities acknowledge that too, and knowing that people are familiarized.
You nailed it. In fact, I just want to read some of the exact words John Schemmel texted me today. He said because he encouraged his president, Sheila Gestring, to vote yes on USD's behalf. It's a combination of priorities between revenue, national exposure, protecting local and regional partnerships.
Yeah.
I think it's part of the deal. 3 years ago, they decided to break away from ESPN because there was more that Midco and CBS could offer, which was more national games on television and more revenue stream. And so if that's going well, which obviously it has, especially financially, then you keep it because you like the people you're working with and you think they do a good job and you reward them with another contract. He does not argue that revenue is the driving force. ESPN inarguably provides the most convenient exposure but offers zero revenue. Zero revenue, according to John. Limited national linear broadcasts and ratings on ESPN Plus and mid-major basketball games, they're very low. Our Midco Plus Summit League app has growing audiences that are engaged. League revenue essentially comes from two things. I'll repeat this. Listen carefully if you're still with us here. League revenue for the Summit League
revenue
comes through only two things: basketball tournament and this new multimedia revenue agreement. The basketball tournament and this new multimedia agreement.
Is that under that umbrella? Is that like sponsorships and? Because I would imagine there's revenue through.
Yeah, from the Summit League to the schools.
I
guess
that's Midco.
Now the schools, they get their revenue from corporate sponsorships, private donations, ticket sales, obviously. But from the Summit League,
and I would suppose sponsorships are that's Midco's money.
Their only event that makes money is obviously the men's basketball, and the tournaments make a lot of money because they get pretty big crowds compared to a lot of mid-major tournaments. And then this new multimedia. It's nothing like the Big Ten and the SEC. It starts with every school getting $90 million or so every year just for having their football games as part of the TV deal that they agreed to. So it's a much smaller scale. That's what it is here. Last one, because, I just Googled it. AI is never wrong, right?
John.
To figure out how many people are seeing, when it comes to the CBS Sports Network national exposure. Because whenever I talk to Matt Zimmer about this, he goes, nobody has CBS Sports Network. And you and I I mentioned that to you today. I'm like, I do.
It's the only way I'm able to watch him.
Now, neither of us, I'm sure it's carried on Midco if you still get old-fashioned cable.
It would be.
But
linear channels.
It's been a long time since I have subscribed to a cable system, but that would be in the old days, CBS Sports Network would be in a bonus sports package that you pay an extra, $10 a month for, which is like getting an app, basically, but you got a bunch of different channels. NBC Sports, just the add-ons. I don't know if that's the case now. But you have YouTube TV and you got it.
Yep.
I have Hulu, and I've had for years. It has CBS Sports Network. And Cordell, what's your case? No CBS Sports Network that you were able to consume? And Cordell's in a younger generation that doesn't generally or is obsessed with having a bunch of different TV channels at his disposal as we are. But okay, so according to my Google search, exact subscriber numbers for CBS Sports Network are not publicly released by Paramount, but the 24-hour cable channel has an estimated audience reach of over 11 million viewers in the United States. It is historically available in approximately 61 million traditional pay TV households. Okay? Meanwhile, ESPN2, that carries the men's championship game, approximately 70 million pay TV households. So that's only 9 million more, which really surprises me. And I'm not so sure I believe it. You would think ESPN2 is a lot more readily available, at least on basic packages.
It's so hard to determine now.
And then ESPNU, for that matter, is available in approximately 45 to 54 million U.S. households.
Well, you don't even know,
too. So according to this search, CBS Sports Network has more than ESPNU, which means that's more available viewers conceivably for the women's championship game. But I don't know.
Some of these packages, too, like with they change. Like with YouTube TV, it'll change.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll drop a certain channel, but I've always had CBS Sports Network, and so I don't know. Again, you're using.
Yeah. And on the other side of his mouth, a point that Zimmer has brought up is, what is national TV anymore? Because there's so many NFL games are now on Netflix, Amazon Prime. The bread and butter is still on CBS, NBC, or Fox, and whatever. But in a world where far more people don't have basic cable like we used to, what is national TV? We're all consuming what we want, and we just pick and choose the apps that we want, and that's how we watch sports anymore. So that would make the case for CBS Sports Network, because if that's the case, if you're a Summit League viewer, you're going to find it, no matter what. But again, I go back to league exposure means hopefully this helps recruiting for each and every school that is involved in these games, not only in the Summit League tournament, but in the regular season.
Yep.
Are there a bunch of people watching CBS Sports Network Summit League basketball games?
That
no.
typically wouldn't?
No, there aren't, but they pop on, and I also make the case about sports bars for what it's worth. The average sports bar you go into, they're going to have, it depends on what games are on, what time of the year it is, and all that. There's always going to be one or two TVs that are going to have CBS Sports Network on in general, unless it's an NFL Sunday, and every,
Correct, yeah.
You know what I mean? And every TV's going to have an NFL game on. So I think it's more common than some people give it credit for.
Yeah.
And I will say this, they do a good job. I mean, I like their broadcasters. Missy Heydrich crushes it.
Yeah.
I don't remember the names of the guys who called the men's games, but I thought they did a very good job. It looks good on TV. It doesn't feel like public. It feels like CBS. It doesn't feel like public access or anything like that. They do a good job of the broadcast too. I've noticed no difference between the production value or the announcer quality from the folks who did it for ESPN and ESPNU at CBS Sports Network. So,
yeah. I
guess we've killed that topic.
Yeah, I'm still of the line of thinking that, like, if you're able to add more for these games on CBS Sports Network, for me personally, I like it.
Yeah.
Just because that's the only way I'm able to watch some games. I mean, we've come in here on so many Thirsty Thursdays last fall and winter, and I was, it's a nationally televised game. I'm going to watch that one tonight. You know what I mean?
There you go.
So.
Yeah, you get 7 to 9 of them. And let's face it, a lot of them do involve the Jackrabbits.
The Yotes had a few.
A lot of Jackson Bison, and a lot of the games last year, I didn't do the diligence of looking this up. But
yeah, I'd be curious.
It felt like it was Dakota's games.
Was North Dakota State, South Dakota
State? UND
State?
and SDSU, UND and NDSU, the Jacks and the Yotes, a lot of the Jackson Bison. Those were your CBS Sports Network regular season games.
Was SDSU women? Was that?
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
I think so. I think one of those two regular season were on.
Yeah.
But ESPN never did one regular season. So like, we can't do it on all of our channels all season long. We're not going to carry one Summit League game. So I get it from the Summit League people's point of view.
Yeah.
And if the numbers are what I looked up, there's really not that many more people.
Not at all.
There's 25 more million to watch ESPN2. That's a lot. But ESPNU and CBS Sports Network are about even.
I don't know that it doesn't matter if there's money to be made in it. They're always going to chase that. And that's why you see a vote that's so one-sided.
Well, yeah. I mean, the last 10 minutes when we're just talking about who watches what.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. There's zero revenue ESPN. There's revenue from this deal. They're going to take it, and the rest of us will just follow. And we'll pick and choose how much we want to consume.
You could maybe even make the argument that they're ahead of the game by going to a package that has CBS Sports Network, because it is included in packages on YouTube TV, and it's significantly cheaper than cable.
Yeah.
As is Hulu TV, and it's significantly cheaper than cable. So, and that's where things are moving too. Let's not kid ourselves. Like, cable TV is, who knows?
Yep.
How much longer that has.
Right. We done?
Yeah.
I think on that one, I don't think it's the most popular decision, but it's one that fans will ride with. And by the way, I can ask fans who are bitching about it, and I understand. I'm kind of on your side. I like the old way better, but there's plenty of pros to the new way. But do you want your school to have a little more revenue so you can pay for the facilities and whatever it takes to be competitive, to make sure that the highest quality athletes are going to want to come play for your team and your school?
I would
think the answer would be yes.
Another goal. Croatia scored right before halftime. I missed it.
Wow, we got just a shootout here.
It is 3-2 England.
Just a barn burner.
Yeah, also a thunderstorm moving in.
Here in Sioux Falls?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe we better go. I walked here. So a few things happened that came up on our headline radar in local sports during the normally dog days of June. Eric Henderson, Hendo, scored one of the best high school basketball talents in South Dakota. Brent Wassenaar, Sioux Falls Christian, is going to Drake. I've seen some of his games. You've seen more of his games. Phenomenal athlete, and it feels like Drake beat out SDSU and USD. They offered. I wonder if the Hendo effect at Drake, bringing in Owen Larson, grabbing Griffin Goodberry, who was going to play for the Jacks, how much does that hurt schools like the Jackson, the Yotes, in the coming years for guys like Brant Wassner? But maybe he was too good to truly ever be at the Jackson Yotes level anyway.
I think he would have been going on to another level after that at a certain point. He's a 6'5" combo guard. You're not going to find many of them. He's a great ball handler. I mean, like he can do it all. He can shoot and score at all three levels. I love his game. I've been on him since he was about a sophomore. I said this kid's going to be really, really good. And of course, that team, when he was a sophomore, had Griffin Goodberry leading the way. So now he's rejoining up with Goodberry at Drake, and going to have 2 Sioux Falls Christian players on that team. But he had a stellar season last year. I think he was Class A Player of the Year. 23 points, 7.4 boards, 5.1 assists, 1.7 steals per game. They were runner-up. Of course, West Central won that Class A championship last year, but Wassner was outstanding. Yeah. And I think a key to West Central's win was being able to find a way to shut Wassner down, too, in that game. I mean, they really did a good job bottling him up, got into some foul trouble, and that was kind of the key for West Central to get it done. He's going to be that Sioux Falls Christian team is going to be good again next year. I'm excited to see, how they look with Skoton next year and Wassner as a senior. It's going to be a really exciting team to watch. But what a get for Eric Henderson. I mean, that's I think it says something too about if he would have maybe waited it out through one more AAU season here as a junior, he may have gotten some other offers. But Drake was there early, obviously, with Henderson jumping over there because he was in on him at SDSU. I believe he was offered when he was coach at SDSU. So South Dakota, SDSU, and then I believe Augie and Northern State had offered him as well. There may have been a couple other offers in there too, but I know those were the big ones. And of course, he picks Drake. So. Happy for him. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
His mom's a volleyball coach there at
Happy for him. Again, I wonder, yes, maybe he will move on to a Power 4 eventually if he performs really well at Drake. And it would have been more likely anybody who performs reasonably well in the Summit League moves on after a year or two. You just get yourself named at least on that all-first team, even all-second team, and they'll gobble you up. But, again, it's just I could be wrong. I just think I'm wondering out loud, if Eric Henderson were not the coach at Drake, if he were still the coach at SDSU, is Owen Larson still at SDSU? Is Griffin Goodberry still at SDSU? And is Brant Wassner going to SDSU? I think it's fair that South Dakota connection is helping Drake and maybe hurting Brian Peterson. Now, Matt Zimmer's been writing story after story on all the incoming transfers from these other mid-majors that are joining SDSU, and we'll just see how well they rock and roll addressing some of their shortcomings from last year.
He's got a little brother, too, who
that's right.
Can be pretty good, I think, too. Yeah. They both were on that, I think, 4x400 relay team this year. Yeah. They won state, and I've watched him play a little bit on the JV team, and he's going to be an impact player for him this year. So excited to see what he does. He's taller, too.
We have another Sioux Falls metro area prep athlete that committed to an even bigger college.
Nah, I wouldn't say it's that much bigger.
I mean, a really big one.
The premier program in college volleyball.
I mean,
it's hard to argue.
Jocelyn Samuels is going to be a Nebraska Cornhusker.
Yes.
If she starts playing right away, you could have like an 8-year run of Sioux Falls kids being the setters for the premier volleyball program in the country. It's crazy, but it also makes sense. We're not far. It's basically an in-state team, and that's how good Jocelyn Samuels is. She's apparently Bergen Riley good.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I interviewed Bergen when I worked for JWS. Was living here in Sioux Falls, and I'm going through my volleyball rankings during the fall, and of course, I stumble across a Sioux Falls player who's number 5 in the country overall recruit. And so I'm like, I got to do a story on this girl. So I did a story on Bergen. Obviously, her older sister, I think, played at SDSU. Was that right?
I mean, her older sister started at North Dakota State.
Yeah, started at North Dakota State, transferred to SDSU.
And then went to Illinois or one of the other. Yeah, she's at Illinois in the middle, for
sure. So it was in the blood there. I will say this. I think Jocelyn may be a more true setter than Bergen. She is number 4 overall prospect by Prep Dig right now. and she's just a junior. This was Monday was the first day that 2028 kids could announce their commitments, and so she was amongst that class. I know Nebraska had another top 5 recruit, somebody out of Milford, who they also had in that class. So a hell of a haul for that program there just on Monday. But she was 4-time state champion there at Harrisburg. They've won 4 straight. I think she's been a part since her 8th grade years, so she's won 3 of them. She's 6'2", plays for Kairos, which is where Bergen played as well. Bergen was a little bit of an all-around player, though, in high school.
Yeah.
Jocelyn is. She hit she hit over 400, which is super impressive. A lot of setters can do that
it's
too.
Like
because
batting 700. Or
yeah,
something.
and a lot of setters are able to do that just because they're not expected. A lot of defenses aren't expecting it. But she can kind of do a little bit of everything too. But 1,050 assists in one season for a team that went 35-2 was top 10 nationally. That Harrisburg team was a juggernaut last year, and she was literally right at the center of it. I think you could ask her coach, Renee Cossette, if she is the most instrumental part of that offense, and it all runs through her. Every point pretty much runs through her. She had 93 kills, 58 blocks, 35 aces, 166 digs, so she can get it done defensively too. And like I said, a .412 hitting percentage, averaged 10.4 assists per set. And that team did not lose many sets at all. I think they lost maybe 3 all season against in-state competition. Their only 2 losses were out in California or Vegas in that tournament that they went to.
And they also beat some premier
and
teams.
They beat one of the best teams in the country in that tournament. Yeah. So, that program continues to churn out talent, and it is really cool to see a program like Nebraska. You could possibly have a full-on lineage. I mean, Bergen wasn't just Big Ten setter of the year; she was player of the year last year in that conference. They were undefeated, correct, in the regular season?
Yeah, they were. Yes, they were 30. They were undefeated all the way until their first loss of the season in the Elite Eight. The regional final, they got upset at home by Texas A&M, the eventual national champion. They were 33-1 in Danny Busboom Kelly's first year, replacing John Cook, who in his last 2 years went 33-2 and 33-3, finishing runner-up and in the Final Four. The Huskers have reached the Final Four in 3 of the last 5 years, and again, we're number 1 in the country all year until that shocking upset loss. It's a program that's won 5 national championships and goes to the Final Four on average about once every 3 years, and blows the rest of the nation away in attendance. They get a sellout of 8,500 every game. So there's no better place in the country to play college volleyball, and we could have 2 Sioux Falls area setters.
Really cool.
Going to Nebraska.
It's a really
back
cool.
to back. I mean, they're going to Nebraska, yes. Yeah. Playing and starting for Nebraska, yes, because the Bergen Riley was also about number 4 overall prospect in the country.
Started really early on there too. She went right. I mean, she jumped right into it.
She was All-American her first year, and she was Big Ten. She was the first freshman to ever be Big Ten setter of the year.
If you've ever talked with Bergen, you get it. If you ever talk with Jocelyn, you get it. Yep. As a sophomore, one of the better interviews I've interviewed, or people I've interviewed who are sophomores, because sometimes they can be a little, they're younger. Yeah. And she's outstanding interview and totally can see a future for her. There's some other, Del Rapids has I believe it's Jack Henry's younger sister is going to Oregon.
Oh, wow.
And so there's some really good Division I talent. Volleyball's a great hotbed around here.
It's a testament to how much, every sport seems to be elevating the last 10, 20 years in this town, getting more and more Power 4 level prospects developed and going not just from a mid-major to a Power 4, but straight to a Power 4. We talk about the Canaries getting more local products from Augie and USF, and that's because those programs have elevated because there's just more training, there's more coaching that you can get, and more playing with club sports year-round. Mm-hmm. Okay. By the way, if you missed it, our chat with Bergen Riley about a year ago, Google that, Happy Hour, Bergen Riley, and you'll understand what an impressive young lady she is, and very illuminating on college life and volleyball life, a little bit on NIL life for a volleyball player.
I don't know if you got into it. I remember when I interviewed Bergen, kind of talking about I remember her going into detail about how when COVID hit, she couldn't play.
Yeah.
Right? And that was like a really critical time. I think it was like over her sophomore year in high school. You know, your recruiting is getting heavy, picking up around then, everything. And she couldn't play. So she literally would just play with her sister or against a wall.
Yeah.
And like, wow, what an awesome person to get to just hit the ball.
Lucky for her. Yeah. I had to feel like solitary confinement when she was alone half the time.
Yeah.
That was life back then.
It was.
A couple more little notes before we head on our way out. Augustana volleyball coach Jennifer Jacobs steps down. This is a weird time of the year to leave a job, especially for a fall sport. She's going into the private sector. I don't think we know immediately what that job is. She does go by Dr. Jennifer Jacobs, so that might be a hint. I don't know.
And we'll see. Jen's awesome. Happy for her to find a good opportunity.
And this is outside of coaching.
Yep, outside of coaching. Her husband, Scott, works there at Augustana, too, runs their MSAL program, Scott Schmidt.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've met him at a Canaries game.
Good
He's
guy.
Awesome. Yes.
Great guy. And they've got kids. And, it's just, God, we just had this chat on Monday about Division II athletics and how it's a labor of love these days. And, it's not easy. It's not easy sometimes, and I know it puts Augie in a tough spot at this time of the year, but happy for her to go find something and a new passion maybe to pursue.
Yeah, she was. You had it here. 130 and 101 in her 9 seasons. 130 and 103.
Yeah,
Fifth place finish, best finish.
And it's interesting. That program is, I think fifth place was the best year they had. They had a couple rough seasons here the last few years, and this is good. It's an opportunity for administratively to find somebody who can who can carve out the time to really build that program up and get them to a level, because look, they're getting a brand new playing surface at the Elman Center this year. I think I even included that from Andy's press release at the end, the Terraflex floor that they're going to have in there. And
he did.
There's going to be some. I mean, that's a good selling point to find somebody and maybe to take that program to another level. I don't know at this time of the year. I don't know how good of a hire you're going to be able to find. It's really tough right now. You may have to go the interim route. We'll see what they do, but look from within. Keep as many kids on the roster as you can.
Yeah,
there is no portal opening for D2.
There is no portal. Yep. Okay, why?
I don't know.
That's stupid.
Kind of wondered that as well.
If you can let Division I kids transfer when a coach leaves, why do you hold Division II kids hostage? I mean, that's good for Augie. They won't have to worry about losing their roster, and they could maybe then hire accordingly from the outside if they have a shot at getting somebody qualified who wants to make the jump. But that's asinine.
It's weird.
Okay. Well. And by the way, that's a murderer's row league. That's a tough volleyball league.
It's one of the best in the country.
It's tough to win in, and it's just dog eat dog. USF's been struggling to climb the ladder.
USF's been pretty
for years. They've been good.
Yeah.
But it's just like softball. Shannon Pivovar. She was a 500 coach. She's not good enough for USD. Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Hard league to win in
St. Cloud State's usually
in softball, and it's a hard.
Yeah,
the window's always open.
Yeah, it's always
you can
open.
Transfer anytime you want in Division II. I retract my statement for those of you who have been yelling at me like I'm an idiot for the last minute or so. The final item we have is one of South Dakota's own is a national champion at the highest level, NCAA track and field. And apparently he's got a little bit of flair to him. Simeon Birnbaum?
Oh, Simeon.
You wrote the story?
Well, I got confused there for a second because you said Mel. I was thinking Anna Willis first. She finished third in the pole vault.
Oh, okay.
And you got me confused there. Yeah, Simeon Birnbaum. I wrote a little bit of a
Rapid City kid who's at Oregon.
Rapid City Stevens graduate, now at Oregon. You should check out the Nate Brown show clip from yesterday. You asked him about Olympic aspirations.
Do we have that?
And he told him to buy the tickets. Okay. You should find that, pull that, play that, because that is really good.
So I got to ask you this because it's a ways away, but it's coming, and people always ask me, you think Simeon Birnbaum, we got listeners that have asked me, well, what does he think about the Olympics? So when I say the Olympics, what do you say?
I say book your tickets. LA 2028.
I like
That's what
that.
I'm gonna say. I believe I'm gonna be there. Like, the Olympics is my home country, not very far from where I live now. Like, you best believe I'm gonna do everything in my capability to be there, and not only be there, but to perform well and put on for the U.S.
Okay. I want to book my tickets. Now you got me juiced for that.
Yeah, he's just when he was asked if he was.
Yes, he's got flair to him, man, and people don't like it. They call it arrogance. I call it confidence. I don't buy into the whole.
Chris Nelson had a little bit of that, not as much as this kid, but he definitely had supreme confidence.
God,
in his,
do you think football? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
We hold track athletes to like some different standard. Like they're all buddies, and it's like. Come on.
Yeah, no. Well, they're individual athletes.
They're competitors. They're competing
even
against
more.
each other. They want to win.
Yeah, exactly. So, congratulations to him.
Yes, it'd be awesome to see if he makes it to the Olympic stage. I think, with those, the performances he's put up, he set a new college record in the 1500 this year.
Wow.
Like he can 100% compete.
And he dominated it.
Oh, he ran away.
Yeah.
Final 150. I mean, you watch the end of that race. He's gesturing to the crowd as he's crossing the finish line.
Yeah.
Like a 20-meter lead.
Secretariat type of stuff.
And he moved ahead, too. I think he was like with the pack, and they just turned it on.
And he runs at Oregon, which is the premier track and field
That is
program.
it.
Most people know that.
That is it.
They hold NCAA championships at Oregon's facility.
It's a really, really cool
The home of
facility.
Steve Prefontaine, one of the coolest accomplished athletes of all time. It's my gratuitous excuse to use one of my favorite lines from an athlete. They just asked him what's his motivating factor to run. Why does he love it so much? It takes a special kind of human to just want to run them. I know you want to compete and win at something, but like, why of all the sports, why just running all the time? And he just goes, I eat a lot of pizza and drink a lot of beer. I got to go out for a run. My guy. All right. Well, that was fun.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers. What would you say? What would you say? Let's play a game. How long do you think that was? I'm going to go 38. 38 minutes.
45.
Cordell's laughing.
50. Oh! I was still under.
As usual, we were aiming for 30, but I hope you enjoyed the extra 20 you got out of that.
That's true.
We did. Cordell didn't. Happy hour and cheers.
It's still happy hour with John Gaskins. This round's on me.
It doesn't really get any more jackrabbit football than this guy. He was one of the favorite chats we had our first time around the sun here on Happy Hour, and he's back ahead of a huge event for the Jackrabbit Former Players Association, of which he is the president and founder. And we're just a couple months from football season. It's getting that time. We're getting ready.
You can feel it. It's getting there.
We can. He's was an All-America center. Some formative years in the FCS with John Stiegelmeier in the trailer days at Coughlin Alumni Stadium. And he's well connected with a bunch of guys who came before him 50, 60 years ahead, and certainly all the dudes now, the guys who have won the national championships and who are still competing for them. And it's just great to have Ryan McKnight, Pride of Sioux Falls, Washington, and SDSU. Cheers. We're at Gateway Lounge today, and I studied up a little bit by listening to our conversation from last year. And I had a Corona premiere, and I just thought it went so well. I'm not a superstitious guy, but I'm going to do the Corona premiere again today. And you did a Pabst Light. You got the Pabst Heavy today.
Yeah, I think it was on me. I think I misspoke when I got it. But PBR is a good beer, though. I mean, it's a really good beer. And
yes, of course it is.
Can't beat that at all. So
no. And so you were asking me, like, you really like the Corona Premier. I said, well, I do. I do like a good Mexican lager, and I've always liked the Corona Light, and now it's Premier. But just it's something about the familiarity of doing this. So here we are. And you are in the middle of moving. You're getting ready for a big event next week. But you're still up in Brookings.
Yep.
And by the way, just to review, you're still a lawyer.
Still a lawyer.
Teaching law at SDSU.
Yep.
As a lecturer.
My wife and I both do that. Yeah, we both teach law in the business school up there.
Yeah. And you have a storage business.
We have
What's
some
it
storage,
called?
extra space storage.
Yeah.
We are a jack of all trades. We don't like to slow down at all.
You're probably having to use some of that storage right now because you're moving, right?
Yeah, and that was you would think like, oh, that's a really good thing. You could have a storage spot. There's a unit open.
Yeah.
We're completely full. So
Yeah.
we had nothing. So we were stacking stuff. And huge shout out to Trademark Homes, Eric Christensen, who GC'd our house because he let us get some stuff in the garage early. And he's obviously a big supporter of Jack's athletics and Jack's football. Great dude. And yeah, moving is terrible. Next time I move is going to be into a pine box because I'm not doing that ever again. That's terrible.
Yeah. We did it over the first of the year in the dead of winter. And it, wasn't smart. It's not. We just kind of got the notion to move into Sioux Falls by October, and so it wasn't until December we found a place. But it was a good place, so I hope you found a place that you love and it's going to be worth the move. So.
It is. It's really good for our kids. Our kids have a bunch of friends out there, so it's kind of fun at night when all the girls are out running around. So we didn't have that at our old house, so now we do, and it's kind of it's a good reprieve. I'll put it that way.
How do you like living in Brookings, and how long have you lived there?
Yeah, I would say Brookings to me feels almost more at home than Sioux Falls. So obviously I graduated high school in 2006. Minus a couple years in Vermilion, minus a year out west, we've always lived in Brookings, and so I love it. Great community, great town. Like the businesses up there, I mean, they're all about Jack's football, and they all about Jack's athletics, and it's a little bit slower pace. And I was telling Mayor Tenhaken about this diverging diamonds. I'm like, man, can we just have a simple left turn and a right turn? But I'll leave it to the engineers and the smart people to figure that stuff out.
I'll tell you, because it's right out here by the gateway, and I think it's a different, better world.
Yeah,
it is. Having had to wait at those traffic lights, they know what they're doing. But I know what you mean. We talked about this last time. The crazy Sioux Falls City traffic just gets to you.
Don't get me started.
It's definitely certain times a day.
Yeah.
It is not Minneapolis. It's not New York City, but there are certain times of the day where it's just it's not so much crazy drivers. Not that there aren't. It's the waiting at lights 2, 3, 4 times over. I get it. But let's dive into your big event. It's a JFPA summer football and cheer.
Yep.
Is it a camp? What's it called?
Yeah, it's a JFPA youth and cheer camp.
Thank you.
And so, in short, a couple years back, I'll give a shout out to Ryan Knutson for coming up with the idea. But we will always have our golf tournament the last Saturday in June.
Okay.
And
are you doing that again this year?
Oh yeah, out at Grand Falls Casino. It's a really good time. We're already at 33 teams, and so we'll probably hit 40 golf teams this year, which is fun. But what we realized, there's a lot of youth in Sioux Falls that if you put on a camp, they would show up and just to meet the players and kind of have a way to connect the Brookings community with the Sioux Falls community.
Yeah.
And so the first year we did it, I bet we had 100 kids sign up, and now we're already at 250, 260. And a lot of those kids now, they come there because we have all these NFL dudes coming back. Mm-hmm. And what a cool way for those guys to give back to the community, but also show up to support Jack's athletics. Just awesome young men. So, yeah, it's always a fun it's a good camp. Shout out to our big sponsor, Shields. They do a great job giving us a bunch of water bottles and drinks and whatever to really help the kids out. And so the kids come there. This year we paired it with the cheer camp. So all proceeds, if you have a daughter who wants to go cheer, hey, look, you're going to bring down the SDSU cheerleaders because they're there to support us every single home game, rain, sleet, snow, or hail. They're always there. And so they're going to partner with us this year, and we're going to put together a camp. I think you get a shirt if you are going to the cheer camp. If you come to the football camp, I know Coach Jackson's bringing down all the coaches, a lot of players, a lot of NFL guys, and you get a football this year, so you get another autograph session. So it's just a really cool thing.
5:30 on Friday, June 26th.
Yep.
And proceeds are going to. You've mentioned one place, but
yeah.
So where are people's money going?
If you donate or if you sign your kid up for the cheer, it's all going to the cheer girls.
Cool.
All going to the cheerleaders. If you sign up for football, it's all going to football. So it's kind of it's a cool way for us to give back. It's a cool way for us to say thank you to the cheer squad.
Yeah.
But it makes a difference.
Okay, so it's going to those programs.
Yep.
It's not going to the JFPA.
No.
Yeah. You guys are just but it's organized by you guys.
Correct.
This again, we went through some of the JFPA 101 last year, and we went basically through Ryan McKnight's life story to learn about his days playing for Kim Nelson and Brian Hermanson at Washington, and then Stig and Luke Meadows and all the fellas up at South Dakota State, the near win over the Gophers your senior year. I know it still stings, but that also was the very first time the Jackrabbits made the NCAA FCS playoffs. I mean, some big names, some big teams, some great memories. And so if you want to Google it back to 2025, Happy Hour, Ryan McKnight, I just Googled it today, found it. And we can learn more about your personal journey. But also, we did walk through kind of what is the JFPA and how did it start. And for one, again, you can go back to that, but also the Stig book came out, Stig and the Rise of South Dakota State Football, Tanner Castora. I read that a few months ago because I promised myself and Stig I wasn't going to interview him again until I read the book. It's really, it's almost like an encyclopedia history book of SDSU as much as it is a biography about Stig. And so you're a part of it for sure, both the time that you played and then getting this thing going, the JFPA. And so I don't mind doing it again, just kind of these two events, this football and cheer event on Friday night, and then the golf is on Saturday again. And what's the golf raising money for?
All for football.
All for football.
All proceeds go back to football.
Hey.
It's a really, really great deal.
Don't know if anybody knows this about college football these days, but it costs a lot of money to play and to operate and to be competitive. So these are some big events for Jackrabbits and Jackrabbit fans. But yeah, again, explain how this all got started and why it was you, why you took it upon yourself to start the Jackrabbit Former Players Association.
Yeah, and I appreciate the opportunity. And Tanner did a fantastic job in that book.
He sure did. It took a lot of time.
I'll give him a lot of credit. Yeah. And as you were kind of talking about raising money, if you have want to be a whole sponsor for a golf tournament, it doesn't really matter to us. Terry Nemitz at Outlaw Graphics does all the signs, so it'll look really cool. It just makes a difference because all that proceeds, they all go back to football. And so you flash back to 2018 where we didn't have a tailgate, we didn't have really any sort of network or mentorship program, none of that stuff. And you made your best friends up here, like I alluded to in 2025. You have all these connections, all these stories. And I wanted to make sure when we started the JFPA that those guys don't get forgotten because it's pretty simple. Pierre Strong's in the NFL, he's crushing it, awesome young man. But then you forget, hey, Zach Zenner was really good too, or Brady Mangarelli, or Kyle Monette, or Trevor Owen. All these guys, I want to make sure that those guys don't get forgotten, and I want to make sure that you have this resource and this network of guys that will come back and support and care because that is our team. I don't care about any other college football team out there. I just care about the Jackrabbits, and I think there's a lot of guys that are like me who feel that same way. And as a result, how do we savor that? How do we keep that? But more importantly, when this whole thing shifts into the new conferences and new alignments, well, we got to be ready. Well, one way to be ready is you have your alumni base ready, willing, and able to step up and be a part of it. And I don't know how many different schools I've talked to in the last 5-6 months. I know Northern Arizona, Montana, Northern Michigan. How do you start something like this? And you could give them all the blueprint, but Jackrabbit football is special. There's a lot of guys who truly care about that blue and yellow. And as soon as you just give them one little ounce of hey, you're making a difference, you're making an impact on this kid's life, it's over. I mean, they love it. They buy in every year. It's really cool. And so yeah, very long story short, it's a fraternity of old guys who really want to help out the young guys and help out SDSU football.
Yeah, there you go. And by the way, for either the football, let's talk about the camp to get even more people signed up. Who are some of the names? Drop the names of who are some of those dudes that are going to be back for this.
I should have. Thank you for bringing this up. I know.
I should have asked you.
I know Pierre
ago.
Strong. I know Isaiah Davis. Mason McCormick. He'll always be. He's just a staple of this place. I know Mark Arnowski's trying to make it back. I know same thing with Dallas Goddard's trying to make it back. Christian Roseboom's having his kid, so he can't make it back. And I know Tucker Kraft is kind of in that fluctuation of can he make it back or not. But those are some hammers in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't like we're bringing back some random person from the XFL. This is a really cool thing. And on top of that, too, Chase Mason will be down here teaching. Logan Green will be down here teaching. Reese Kirschman. There's a lot of guys that they care about the youth and they care about the football team and they care about this connection between Brookings and Sioux Falls. And so it's going to be a really fun camp.
Yeah. Got to keep it going. I mean, it seems like a freight train that's been rolling pretty sweet the last 15, 20 years, but you never know.
You never know.
Look to the south in Lincoln, where things can, you know.
And how's that have an impact on the university then too?
Yeah.
And I know Nebraska is Nebraska, and there's a reason why they don't want to schedule us, and then that's just the truth.
They don't want to schedule anybody. They're afraid to schedule Tennessee.
No, I know.
Or they dropped Tennessee.
And if you start having losing records, like that has an impact on enrollment. That has an impact on the rest, the community, and whatever. And so, like, part of what our initiative of, there's really cool things we're doing with the football program, but maybe more importantly, we're also looking at, hey, we care about this community, care about this town. Let's keep us being solid.
Well, I mean, there are certain football programs / universities. I think Nebraska and SDSU are two fine examples of where the university and its leadership and to a certain degree alumni and fans, but mainly alumni, people who actually attended school there, and I'm one of them down there. Where you're okay with a big part of the identity of the school being not just sports, but football.
Yeah.
Some schools aren't okay with that. Some are less okay with that than others. They don't want to be. We're an academic institution, and it's okay to be both. And the ones that, and I'm not saying this is the right way or the wrong way, but the ones that embrace it, like SDSU, they see it as a window. They see football as a window to the university. You get on college game day, or your men's basketball team gets there on Selection Sunday and plays a game in March Madness, women as well. And, hey, maybe your football team someday is playing in the Mountain West Conference or somewhere like that. And you just mentioned the word enrollment. I mean, it's one way of people realizing you exist, and the people who already know you exist wanting to be a part of that.
And I give a huge shout out to President Don and AD Sell just for getting, at least we've gotten lucky to have the visionary and say, hey, look, let's go all in on football. Let's go all in on, and I would say all of athletics, but more importantly, the football side of this matters. And let's find a way to keep this ball kind of hot and rolling downhill and making sure that we keep bringing in the big 20,000 fans every single Saturday and keep having this, cool splashes and some cool stuff that's going to be happening this year at game day experience. So give a huge shout out to them. We got really lucky having a good president and a good athletic director who see this and have the vision to keep changing in the ever-changing landscape of college athletics.
We might cross that bridge before we're done talking to you today, but it's been a year since the Jackrabbits played a little football, so I went back and listened, and it wasn't an argument. I just decided to play devil's advocate. You just thought, basically a new team, a brand new coaching staff, and it was going to be same old Jackrabbits. You were really pumped, and partly because you knew of the bonds that had formed with the guys that stayed and the guys that were coming in, and Chase Mason obviously, and Dan Jackson's the right hire, all that QC, and I was kind of like, well, it's a lot of new things to put together, and even these guys who have been there are learning new systems. And you were right. They barged out 7-0. They beat the eventual national champion on their home field.
Yeah.
And then lumps came where kind of maybe a lack of depth was exposed, or who knows. Chase gets hurt. Chase Van Tol, the best player on both sides of the ball, they get hurt, and the wheels fall off for 4 games. They put it all back together and beat UND and win a playoff game, and then go to Montana. So it was kind of what. How did you see that whole thing? Is that a down year, 9-5?
That's a very good question, John. I remember the conversation very well because there were a lot of new faces and there's people coming and going and all these different transfer spots. I get it. I would say for us, just as a shift, we didn't win a national title, so it was a down year, and that's a standard that SDSU is now set of wins and losses. Did you win a title or not? And how you win the titles, you go 1-0. And I think for the first 7 games, we looked really good. And it's crazy to think what an injury can do or injuries can do, but that's why you play the game. That's why you don't just use it paper, like, hey, look, these are all of our studs. No, you play the game to see how it shakes out. And I would say, again, huge shout-out to Coach Jackson for just getting the right coaches here and the right players here. And yeah, you know what, we had some injuries. Yeah, we had some tragedies. Yeah, we had some ups and downs. But now we finally restored that depth. We finally got the depth back. We got the young kids now who are here who stayed. They are much different, much more. They look really good. I mean, they're just bigger kids. Now they know the system. Yeah. I think the sky's the limit again.
Yeah, I mean, you're living there, so you're pretty well connected. You know Dan pretty well. So, what's kind of you've kind of skimmed the surface here. What are some other things that you know or seeing or feeling, or names that we know we're going to be hearing and watching? That we're going to get it back to where it's been.
I would say our offensive line looks amazing. We got a couple transfers in that we needed. We got some guys coming back from injuries. I know Big Bo will be back here soon. I mean, we just have so much more depth than what we had. I know, again, I'm an O-line guy. I know games won and lost in the trenches. Yeah. And so I
love how you started there.
That's all that matters. Yeah. Otherwise, you might be playing 7-on-7. But nonetheless, that's our O-line's be solid. I think Chase Mason he's just an awesome kid. Yep. But two, he's a hell of an athlete. And now I think he feels more comfortable under center. I feel like he feels more comfortable calling the plays. And give him 1 year. Give him 1 year with Eidsness, and that's typically what happens. I would say running back, Josiah. What I don't want to do is I don't want to give out names, and then all of a sudden everyone's just going to be pigeonholing those names. Not like I'm saying I really matter, but I do think our running back game will be better. I think one name that you're going to look at and say, man, this guy had a hell of a year, Reese Kirschman.
Sure.
I'd say him and Dawson, too. Him and Rip, they'll tear it up. I mean, just having him healthy, because remember, he tore his pec in the Montana State game. Mm-hmm. I think Logan Green, if you see him, he looks like the Hulk. I mean, he's a monstrous human being. I don't know. There's just so many guys now that, you see finally got some playing time, and now they feel better. They look good.
Chase Van Tol.
He
gets back. I mean, I mean, not that it seems like the three defensive linemen you've listed are going to be making a ton of mistakes. But should they, you got that guy out there to clean it up.
Cullen is back. I mean, I don't know. There's so much depth now at these positions where what made us good for those long runs was we had rotations. We had guys being able to come in with fresh legs, and now we actually have that. I'm not saying we didn't have that last year, but we did, but it wasn't – they were ready, but new schemes, new systems, all that stuff, a lot of pressure on them. This year, I think the sky's the limit here.
Was it besides the depth and some of the best players getting hurt last year? What else was it? Was it just a lot of newness? Did you see players not playing as fast as you've been used to seeing some SDSU teams the last few years?
Coach Meadows, and I'll give a shout to him because he developed me into being a good offensive lineman, and he always had this mentality. The KISS mentality, keep it simple, stupid. Well, oftentimes when you shift a brand new offense, I'm not saying it was completely brand new, but there's a lot of new working parts and new working pieces. And if you're thinking about, hey, do I have to block this guy or do I have to run this post or that, you're not playing fast. And if you're thinking you're not playing fast, you're off by half a second. That stuff matters. And now having 1 full year under the belt, all right, this is how Eidsness does things. This is how the running backs do the handoffs. Deontay Cooper as a recruiting coordinator has done a terrific job. I just think now we're playing fast. You can play fast, you can play physical. You do both of those things very well. There's not a lot of teams that are going to beat you.
Yeah. And what about Dan? Again, you know him very well, and he's wonderful whenever he comes on and talks to us. He's illuminating. He gives insight. And he was a rookie head coach, not just at SDSU.
Yeah.
But in general, he admitted he made some mistakes, and he had a lot of his own eye roll moments, like I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I forgot or didn't do that. What did you see? What do you anticipate the second time around?
I think the world of Dan Jackson.
Yeah.
He was the perfect fit for this head coach. And I think the guys have rallied. Now everyone knows what to expect. Everyone knows who the head coach is, and they understand the standard. And from my perspective, did he make some mistakes? He might say this.
I wouldn't really know what they were.
I know, same here. And so, for me, I was taking this team after this huge transition while moving with a wife and, building a house and doing all this stuff. I don't know how you even got any sleep in. And so what he did to transform this, and now you give him 1 year of just settling down, slowing down, I I think he is amped up. I just talked to him the other day for about an hour. He's ready. He's ready for the season. And now I think the game's going to slow down for him even, where maybe those mistakes that he said that I didn't even see, he won't do it again. And I think the coaching staff got better, too, with it because now they're meshed. They have a whole year together. Those guys are, like, really good friends. And I think being a really good friends on the coaching staff, that correlates very well to being really good friends on the football team. It gets guys to feel comfortable and have them play fast.
There you go. What did you make of the schedule when you saw it come out?
You know,
not that I'm asking you if you have it memorized.
No, I know the first game, Stetson. Stetson, Northwestern, New Haven, was it Eastern Illinois or Youngstown? I would say it's going to be a tough schedule. It's going to be hard just because the standards now set of even having the team up north leave kind of put all the spotlight on us now. Like, hey, what are you guys going to do? Now, you know, they're not there. What are you guys going to do? Even though we've been beating them, what are you guys going to do now? Because now they're at the Mountain West. And so I think it's going to be a tough schedule. I don't think there's going to be any really easy cupcake games. But at the end of the day, like we talked about earlier, all right, well, the goal is to win a title. How do you do that? Just go 1-0. So opponent 1 comes up, was it August 27th or 28th, whatever it is, and 29th.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, just as someone who is borderline obsessed with schedules and how they lay out and play out, you're not wrong about the opponents, although it really is nice not to have North Dakota State on there. I know as competitors, you make that face, and that's the same thing Dan says, and you know the fans truly will miss it. But it is a nice kind of it's a bit of a breather that you don't have to play them, But you know, I mean, Youngstown State has supposedly the
really good quarterback,
Peyton Player of the Year, quarterback. That's a home game, and it comes after you play New Haven, which should be one of your wins in the bag. You know, you got to go play the money game at Northwestern, and few will expect the Jacks to win that game. But it comes after you play Stetson, the lowest-rated Sangarin FCS team last year. You got to play at Illinois State, which was the national runner-up last year, and I haven't dug in to see how many have returned from that team. But it comes right after you play Eastern Illinois, another really bad team last year. And then after Illinois State, oh my gosh, you have to go to UND. But guess what? There's a bye week in between those games. And then before you play USD at home, you get to play Murray State at home. So before you play at Southern Illinois to end the year, you go to Northern Iowa. Not an easy place to play, but they're not the Fighting Mark Farleys anymore. So and before you hit the playoffs, whether there's going to be a bye or not, your last game is against Indiana State, and I know that was a loss. And I'm sure you're loading up with your artillery to come back at me. But my point is that's of just going that's a win. But what I'm saying is, Dan loves the bye week right in the middle of the season for one. Yeah. Six in, you're going to get banged up, but you're going to get fresh down the stretch. And what I saw was you don't have any of the real murderers row games back-to-back weeks.
About time for us, though, right? Because we've had those for 15 years straight of it, which is good. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Yes. So it's been. I'd make the argument. I wish we had both Montana schools on there. I wish we had all this, but at the same time, kudos to Coach Jackson and the athletic director Sell for getting a schedule where it's all Division I games. We don't want any of those D2 games in there now. So we
were biting the nails over that opening game. They did get an FCS.
And my thought, that's what you want, right? Yeah. This is where we got a good home slate. We should go undefeated at home. We will go undefeated at home, but we should definitely go undefeated at home. We got some tough road games with Northwestern. Sure enough, UNI, no matter what, they always give us their best effort. They always do. But it's the Missouri Valley, so you know what to expect with some of these schools. And, I'm just happy it's all D1 games. That's my biggest thing. And opponent 1, whoever the Stetson, what's their mascot?
Oh, good question. Yeah, we got a producer who's gonna budge into that. Yeah. How excited are you for the Northwestern game? Are you going to go? If you had the opportunity to tell these players about that road game in a Big Ten house, you did it. Yeah. With the Gophers, gave them a game to the very end.
God, I had one bad snap back in the end that hit Thomas O'Brien in the shins, and that's what we actually, if you actually wanted to look it up, it's a true story.
Yeah.
We lost by 3, but even when we played Nebraska in 10.
Oh, yeah.
Fourth
quarter game.
Lost by 2 touchdowns. We had 2 touchdowns called back. We plan on going down. Absolutely going to go down there.
Yeah.
Have a great tailgate, whatever. And I would say for a lot of these kids, and I know it's the same, like, hey, you're not good enough to play in the Big Ten. Well, Evan Bernstein went down there last year and started. He was an all-conference guy. So, like, the level of football now it's not that much different anymore. Yeah. Back in the day, maybe. But today, all these guys that are going to go down, you got picked over. Yeah, they have a whole bunch of other stuff that we don't have. They're not any better than you. Yeah. Maybe on paper they might look better, might look more appealing, but at the end of the day, Evan goes down there, has a hell of a year.
Illinois, yeah.
And, like, hey, it's there's not that much different anymore.
Right. Well,
the Mad Hatters, okay.
The Mad Hatters, I love it.
I should have thought about that. I guess that makes some sense.
That's a good one.
Makes some sense.
And Griffin Wilde was one of the top 10 receivers in the Big Ten, arguably last year, and he's back. And you mentioned it again, Minnesota game 15 years ago. You didn't sense much of a difference. They would bring in some fresh legs
Bingo.
later in the game.
Bingo.
You had some new guys who were not worn down that you had the block, and while you guys were playing the whole game. And that was that's always kind of been like one of the top 2 or 3 differences between those 2 levels. But that's going to be an exciting opportunity. So let's get to what you how you reacted when you saw North Dakota State making the move.
To me, it was. I know I've known for years. I've been trying to get up there, and good for them if their fan base wanted it. It is what it is. To me, what I was most mad about though, is they have the Rock. Like that's a one thing that if we would have beat them last year, the Rock would have kept here. Fine, go play with some new friends in a different conference. It doesn't really bother me, but the fact that you have the Rock and it's there forever. But if you could look at it from a glass half full side of, all right, well they'll do it, and I will bet you dollars to donuts that they will probably win every single game. They will be favored, if not win every single game, just because that's the level of football that we have at the FCS. And there's a reason why the Mountain West would never schedule any of our Missouri Valley schools.
Right.
And I'm not trying to take anything away from them.
Dan's mentioned that.
Yeah, and so I will give NDSU credit. They will go up there. They'll probably run the table. Good for them. But that does give us some. Hey, look, we could be there too, and we will be. Eventually, we'll have to. I just don't know how much longer the FCS can sustain this, because pretty soon the Montana schools will jump up too, or you see Tarleton State talking about jumping up. At some point, that'll be us as well.
Yeah, I mean, so do you feel like that's something you have to do? And if you have to do it, then why do you feel like you have to do it?
I would say, from a money standpoint, from a money perspective, you have to. I would also say a lot of these universities, most people don't realize this, but there is an enrollment cliff that just happened where 18 years ago people stopped having as many kids, and so in order for you to stay competitive, in order for you to get kids to come here, like it's a major concern in higher ed. Well, what do you got to do? I mean, is it jumping up? Is it bringing in bigger opponents? Is it having bigger splashes? Whatever it is, that's a huge issue. And so one of the big issues for SDSU, all right, man, we play outdoor football. You will get playoff games up here. You'll get all this kind of fun stuff. Then all of a sudden, is it jumping up, and is it to the right conference? Because, I don't know, as a player, I couldn't imagine flying out to Hawaii. And obviously you come back the next day, but as you're back here, that's like a midnight kick. And then, I don't know. It's just, I want to make sure we're in the right conference. I want to make sure we do it the right way. And I won't take anything away from NDSU. I'll give them credit for jumping up. And now it's on us to go to Nashville 1. And then from there, we'll see how it shakes out.
What do you think would be the right conference?
What I would love is if Hawaii would join the Pac-12, and then all of a sudden, like, the Mountain West is a really good conference. I mean, it's all regional schools. Yeah, you'd fly there, but I would say the Mountain West, just because the structure and the character of it. Yeah. The money in the Big Ten, we just don't have that. So no, in the Big 12, maybe. I mean, the Iowa States, Kansas States of the world, like. And I know Oklahoma State was Oklahoma State, and they sandbagged us last year. But nonetheless, I do think if we, or 2 years ago, if you stay healthy, you kind of do some stuff, the level's not that much different. But it's, do you have the depth and do you have the speed?
Yeah. Yeah. I would say the Mountain West. I'd be Mountain West.
Yeah.
Go. You want that game? You want North Dakota State again? You want to get that rock back?
I know.
You know, bring it on back. Be brothers in arms over there, and not an original thought, but I think there's a kinship to the Montana schools as well.
Yep.
You know, that everybody kind of gravitates over there together. I can't imagine the folks of the Mountain West, the university presidents and athletic directors, maybe not as much the football coaches who haven't been wanting to play these teams for a while, would certainly think it would strengthen the league, at least the quality of the football there. So, I mean, I think it'd be a lot of fun. You don't appear to be on the side of, you know, it's got to be FCS and playing for national championships forever. You appear to see the value in this is only going to strengthen the brand of the football program and of the university, and because not too many people bring up that enrollment piece. That's interesting. And you can't say all those things without feeling confident. Like, you could be competitive at that level.
Yes.
You know, you can win some games there.
That's what
the way you think North Dakota State will right away.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think they will right away. I think the Montana schools would also do it right away. And yes, there will be some bruises. Yes, there'll be some good teams. 100%. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I just see it as, from the FCS perspective, I wish this conference would last forever, because I do think it's pure football. I think it's really pure, good football. Guys care. It's kind of the old school type of football. You have a playoff system. You're playing random teams. It's kind of a cool deal, but it is dying. And the more schools keep jumping up or jumping down, what I would hate to have is this. Let's say the Montana schools go. Let's say Tarleton State goes, and let's say whoever else, UC Davis, I think, is already talking about going, or Sac State leaving.
Sac State's going.
Yeah. Well, then all of a sudden, like, is it really competitive, or are you just the big kid in the sandbox just picking on everybody else? And so that's my only quarry of, like, I don't want to be that guy who just sticks here just to keep winning titles.
Yeah.
At some point, if you're not playing anybody, it's not. People can sense that, and then all of a sudden, like kind of what happened in NDSU, where like there's attendance started dwindling. Well, I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that this place is always rocking and rolling. So
yeah. By the way, if you were a player right now, or take me back to when you were a player then, I mean, you got to go to Nebraska, you got to go to Minnesota, and I think Montana was definitely a notch up FCS wise as far as the competitive level of the team, but also the stadium and the bigness of it all. 25,000 or whatever there. So, but if you're a player right now, where would you find yourself wanting to be?
Well, that's a very good question. I would say, and one big thing is this. I'm serious. The players' mental health.
Yeah.
Of, hey, is it really fun to go play in the MAC on a Tuesday night in front of 400 people? Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. Conference USA.
You don't have to play every Tuesday night. People love to bring that point up. They're not playing every Tuesday night, but
regardless,
I get it. I don't know. And by the way, I didn't mean to interject, but I'm not like big on the MAC. I don't know if there's a lot of value in going there. I think it's the Mountain West.
Yeah, I'm right with you, and that's kind of what I was getting at was, I want to make sure that these guys don't feel like they're getting burned out. We're all sports. You're traveling.
Yes. Gotcha.
I couldn't imagine going from USC going to play Rutgers on a Saturday, then flying. At some point, it wears you down. And what you don't want to have happen is wear these guys down just for $1. Yeah. So I think the Mountain West would be perfect. Yes, I think flying out of Sioux Falls would be perfect. But at the end of the day, I just want to make sure, and I full trust in Sel, full trust in Barry to make sure that we are picking the right conference.
Yeah.
Because there will be a shakeup here soon. A lot of that stuff you really can't control. So what we can control is let's go 1-0 and let's get down to Nashville.
Because I think there's still some fans again, I'm not saying all. I think there are some fans who would love to go to the Mountain West and the FBS yesterday, and there are some that still kind of have that old school mentality of, well, you can't play for national championships anymore. Now you're playing to go to the Palmetto Bowl or name the bowl. But I think just seeing the perks that come with North Dakota State that we've already seen of going up to that level, it just looks like, from a player perspective, man, wouldn't that be cool? And wouldn't you like to challenge yourself? Championships are cool, no doubt about it. Not going to ever devalue that. But the week-to-week thing during the actual months where the games are on the schedule, the chance to go to these bigger stadiums to play higher-level teams and higher-level players, I would think most players would want that. But I don't know very many of the players, so I'm living vicariously through you. And not everybody's the same.
No, not everyone's the same, and it's all about. I would say for a lot of these kids, it's the perception of, hey, if I still put up some really good film, if I start here, I play well here, play against some quality opponents. The end goal for a lot of them is going to the NFL. Yeah. And so if you want to go to the NFL, and kudos to NDSU, they send guys. I know USD send. Well, if you are coming to SDSU and you're going to say, hey, I want to make sure I go to the NFL, you come here and you play. You play a lot of games, so you're playing through the playoffs. You're doing a whole bunch of stuff like that. Probably everyone's a little bit different. Me, personally, it was so cool to go out to Montana and make the first playoff team since 1979. It was so cool for us just to experience it and see it. Yeah. Like that. That was cool for me then. I cannot imagine these guys now who say they went down to Frisco 3 years and whatever, and then now it's Nashville. That looked so much fun last year. Looked like a riot.
Yes.
It's like that's where I want to be next year. So how do we do there? Well, let's find a way to raise some money up.
Well, all we know is 2026. They're going to be doing that. They're going to be they hope to be chasing a national championship. That's they get that end goal and those stars in their eyes right now. I'd love to get your thoughts as a former college football player on what's this Brendan Sorsby thing and how wild that is, because look, I knew some football players in college, and I was just a college kid myself. I've never been a big gambler or sports gambler, but I knew guys who were, and from age 17 to 23, 24 or so, that's an impulsive time.
Yeah.
Binging everything. But not everybody, but binge drinking, binge gambling. You get addictive and things get fun, and I should have just said Brendan Sorsby and let you go. But I took it down this path.
Yeah.
As a guy who played college football, maybe knew a guy or two who liked to gamble a little bit. What'd you make of all this?
I let this be a lesson to the youth. And I'm actually happy the Big 12 stepped up and some of these other commissioners stepped up and say this is what he was doing was wrong. And I understand addictions. I understand gambling. I understand all of that kind of stuff. For the youth out there, you have the rest of your life to gamble. You have the rest of your life to I don't want to say it because like we're going to a casino to golf, so it's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black. But hey, we're old now. Like I'm not Brendan Sorsby. But nonetheless, like my thought is, just don't do it. Even more importantly is this, like, understand who your friends are too, and understand if you are going to go out to the bars, leave your phones in your pockets. You don't need to go to the bars. You don't need to be making the scene of yourself. Your image matters, and what you found from Sorsby, obviously what he was doing was horrendous and doing a whole bunch of random stuff. But what you find is he's still a dude, he's probably a decent human being, probably a good guy. Just don't put yourself in that limelight, because a few dumb things can ruin your entire life at this level.
Yeah.
Well,
it's but when you talk about going to the play a golf thing at a casino, and I'm sure a few guys will have some laughs and play some blackjack and whatever else afterward. We are adults. We certainly think we can all at this point in our lives we understand what moderation is, and we're sitting in a bar here. We got all the liquor at our disposal, and they're happy to take our money as much as we want. And it's always up to us. It's a little harder at that age.
Yeah.
And he's an extreme case, but it's interesting how the conference kind of policed itself there. I mean, from a competitive standpoint, what did you make of all that? Of how it came to be that he's not playing. They kicked him out without kicking him out.
Let's just address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Like that federal judge granted the injunction to let him play, but he's like a huge Texas Tech supporter. Like, come on, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, like we already know where this was going. And so, like, my thought, kudos to them. I understand they want him to play really bad. I get that.
Yeah.
But at some point, too, you have to be accountable for your actions. And kudos to the Big 12. And it's not like this kid's life is completely over. He's going to jump into the supplemental draft, and he'll make a team.
Team's going to draft him.
A team will take him up.
If they don't, he's going to get on a roster. He's 6'3", 230. He's mobile. He's accurate.
Yep.
And he'll be at the very least a backup for a few years, make some really good money, and maybe even something better than that.
100%. So, like, his life is not completely over.
Yeah.
So, like, don't. But I was happy that they addressed it, and what I found was kind of most. They addressed it, and I thought it was kind of a up and down manner. They should have said, no, he's not playing, he's done. And then we probably wouldn't even be talking about this. Versus UND, when they self-reported tampering, and they kind of came down with a much harsher penalty on them versus Texas Tech. And so I'm a lawyer. I just want uniform rules so you say, hey, this is what happens, this is the punishment. This is what happens, this is the punishment. Instead of, I don't know, the ups and downs of it.
Well, anytime you're playing or coaching in that organization, in a sport sanctioned by the NCAA, you could just take him to court, you're going to win.
Yeah.
That's just what happens now. As a lawyer, do you understand why that's happened? Why that continues to happen? Can you give us a layman's perspective?
I mean, like, give me an example.
I don't know. It just seems like that's your example. That's what everybody was saying last week is he got off the hook because. And by the way, it wasn't the NCAA. I mean, the NCAA was trying to not let him play,
right?
But then you just sue the NCAA, and a lot of it. It goes all the way back to Ed O'Bannon and NIL, and why it's all
and the House settlement and all this kind of stuff.
Guns a-blazing,
And that's, I think, the worst thing the NCAA did, in my viewpoint, would be they let everything out. Fine, everyone will get paid, everyone will do whatever. I mean, as soon as that sand gets out of the sandbox, it's almost impossible to put it all back in. And so now, as you try to reel this in. I know they keep saying, there's a cap of $20 million per team. Well, it's for what the university could pay them, but what if there's some big boosters or third-party NIL stuff out there that now all of a sudden they could pay them too? So it's not. That's what sucks about football, about college athletics in particular right now. Like I saw the basketball kid getting paid $6 million to go to Kentucky or Duke. It's ruining the game that was once pure. Now all of a sudden it's just about money. Who's at the deepest pockets to pay these kids?
Last year we kind of dove into the NIL aspect and how things work, how it's different from obviously when you played even at SDSU, and so I kind of want to drum it up just for people who missed that because I think it is really interesting. You're part of an organization that raises money for the football program to do with it what it needs to do to support itself and the student athletes. You're not raising NIL money for the JFPA. There are other groups that are doing that. I would certainly think there are some players who are contributing to NIL funds because you want to tap into that, those guys who have a bunch of dough. But the one different, listening back today that I found like to be a perfect micro example is how the summer jobs that you guys had and the fact that this is how the NIL at SDSU is not Nebraska, Alabama, Texas, it's not. You're not going to see kids with millions of dollars. And we've had Justin Sell on this to explain as far as he wants to explain it about it. They're trying to be very intentional. Like they're really promoting businesses with their name, image, and likeness. It's not a lot of money, but some of them do get to live more comfortably than guys like you used to do it before this all started. But that summer job thing, just because tell me that whole thing.
Yeah.
What's going on right now in their lives because of NIL, even at a place like SDSU, that's just that NIL has changed things. It sounds like for the better.
It has, and I will give Coach Jackson and Coach Rice a huge credit, and Ryan Christie and a lot of guys at the foundation, fundraising, Coach Stig. A lot of these cats now, though, they work out from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m., get fed in between great food, great meat that the JFPA donates. Then all afternoon they just get to go play golf, or they might have an internship at the golf course. They might have something where back when we played, you were working out at 5 a.m. till 8 o'clock, and then all of a sudden at 8:05 or whatever, you had to go screaming home, shower up, and we actually worked laying carpet for Ope Niemeyer for years. Great dude, but like there's a whole bunch of football dudes, so that your best friend's laying carpet. At some point, it sucked. And it's like now these kids, yes, you get great breakfast. Yes, you get great food. You have one of the best strength and conditioning staffs in the country. You have all the resources afforded to you, and you don't have to work. It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good deal.
So I really don't know. So do most of them not work?
I would.
I'm sure some of them do. Some kids like to work. I mean,
I would say this. I bet you half the team has a job.
Yeah.
40% has a job. And what it is, though, like a lot of guys are working at the country club or working at a golf course or working at a call center just to make some ends meet and make a little extra money. And, one thing, as you brought up, JFPA is not an NIL group.
Right.
But we did open up a C3 account, and our goal is to have every single kid on the team have a full ride scholarship.
Wow.
So that's our that's something that we're really pushing, because a lot of us, I walked on for 3 years. There's a lot of guys who walked on for a long time or got $500. A full ride scholarship would mean the world to a lot of these young kids, and so we're pushing it.
A lot of them have partial scholarships too.
Yep.
And that's the case. Obviously, the lower the level you get. I had 2 boys who played football at Northern State for a year, partial scholarship. I think one, if not both of them, also had a little bit of an academic scholarship to help them out as well. But it was it was just a percentage of their tuition was paid for by football. And the second they decided they just didn't want to play football anymore, they weren't there anymore. Because
and that's real money too.
The scholarship afforded them to go to school. That still exists.
Yes, and that's talking to Coach about this, of like having a JFPA scholarship or having a because that matters. Like having those guys realize that the former players are raising money to give you a full ride scholarship. I would say that we'd be the first program in the country that's actually pushing that. We'd be the first program in the country that actually did that, and we'll get there. But now all of a sudden, it's going to make it way harder for you to transfer, way harder for you to say, hey, look, these guys gave me a full ride scholarship, and I'm sitting here. Yeah, maybe there's money elsewhere, but I got a full ride here, and this is a really good university, really good academic programs, really good sports programs, some of the best fishing in the world, all around 15 minutes away from Brookings. Hunting. Oh, don't get me started here.
When's the last time you chatted with your old teammate Jimmy Rogers?
Oddly, just the other night, Sunday night, we were talking about the UFC fights. So.
Okay. Yeah. Because that's been a big change in the years since we
and good for him too. Like he went out to Washington State, which he said, hey, look, like they're struggling, or they had some issues out there just as well as what we have financially and whatever. But I've known Jimmy forever, and I'm so happy that he's at Iowa State. I'm so happy that he's crushing it and doing really well. Like talk about a big jump up from Pac-12, Pac-2 to now you're in the Big 12. Like that's awesome for him.
I'm hoping to have him on. We're trying to make that happen. But so again, vicariously through you, can you explain? It was a weird season at Washington State. They basically had an independent schedule, and it was just a mishmash of teams. But man, they're playing Ole Miss and Virginia down to the bell. But then they'd lose to somebody they shouldn't lose to, and it was just kind of all over the place. Finished 500 and went to a bowl. What kind of accomplishment was that, knowing whatever he was working with there? You would know better than
same
than
thing
us.
as what Dan was working with here, where Coach Dickert went to Wake Forest, took a pile of guys. Like it wasn't anything. Like it was the same kind of scenario where guys followed, and he would bring guys, and so Jimmy had to bring some guys, and it's kind of the shuttle of guys going back and forth. And for them, they beat Idaho the first game of the year, and it got heated late. They had a really tough schedule. North Texas was pretty good. I know they got sandblasted by them too, but nonetheless, really good early. But at the end of it, I think Jimmy's coaching and Jimmy's leadership really came through, and a lot of those guys did. They hung in close. They did a very good job. I just think then when Jimmy got the phone call to go to Iowa State, because that whole thing with Penn State, talk about a railroad effect, but good for him.
2 years in a row for him.
Yeah, moving just boom, boom.
Yeah, well, just not the moves, but the old coach taking a bunch of his players with him.
Oh yeah, I've thought about that. Yeah.
So what is it about him that especially as a head coach, but going back to the playing days, it gives you a belief that he can be successful at Iowa State, which at times can be a tough place to win a bunch of games.
No, and I would say, like, Jimmy's competitiveness. Like, I've never met a guy, when we're playing ping pong at 2 in the morning at my house, like, I've never met a guy who wanted to win more in his life. Like, he's attention to detail, super competitive. There was times where he'd be damn near sleeping on campus in his office studying film about how to beat this team, and I do think the world of Jimmy, and I think he'll set the standard at Iowa State. It might take him a year, Maybe not. I mean, I don't even know their schedule yet. But
it's hard to know anything in college football anymore.
I would just say I would say that he will have that team prepared, and they will just his drive, just his competitiveness. He'll be all right.
Do you have a favorite across enemy line story with him? You're on the offensive line. He's over there playing linebacker practice.
Yeah, there was times in spring ball where you're fighting, we're face mask. I mean, I'll say when I was playing.
Yeah.
Me and Jimmy, I just did not like him. He didn't like me just because O-line linebacker, our O-line coach detest. There was just so much hatred and animosity. And it wasn't until he was a captain when I was like, I finally see what this guy's doing. I finally understand this guy's trying to get the best out of me. So we're gonna be yelling at me, MFing me, doing all this stuff. And then when we played Montana, we're down. We were up big, and the wheels just came off in a terrible fashion. He's U'd me away, and he is screaming at me. I can't hear him. I'm like, dude, but he singled me out just because, hey, look, I'm trying to jack up everybody in the old line. It was so loud and so raucous, I couldn't hear him. I'm like, dude, all right, I hope it's good. If not, sorry to hear that. Like, I got to go out there. Like, I have no idea what you're saying, but there's just so many good Jimmy stories about. He was a hell of a player for being 5'4". Like, he was really. I actually hope he sees that too.
Yeah. Well, no, but that says something when a linebacker's coming up to the offensive line.
Yeah.
And just the gesture of that is tells you something. All right, last one before I forget. You're also doing something for the volleyball team for the JFPA coming up in September.
That's the plan. We still got to iron out some details and still got to get something squared away. But how cool is that? They're bringing in the Huskers to play volleyball.
It'll be real interesting to see how much red is there.
Arena. Yeah, and there's been a lot of people that I've known throughout the years have hit me up looking for tickets. And first question, what color are you going to wear? Because if you're wearing red, I don't have any tickets. But if you're wearing blue, maybe we could help you find some. But so what we're hoping to do is plan some sort of event, whether it be a tailgate, whether it be whatever. And we got the largest smoker in the Midwest sitting on a tailgate, 1,000-gallon pit smoker. The thing is absolutely beautiful. We're hoping to have that closer to the volleyball game, so that way we could cook food for the volleyball team, and all proceeds would literally go to volleyball itself. We don't need the money. We just want to make sure that when people come there, if there's a way to make a little bit more off of them or make a difference for the volleyball team, why not do it? Yep.
Well, that'll be the biggest volleyball game probably in Brookings for SDSU ever, and so why not harness that
100%
in September when the weather's good and you can tailgate for a volleyball game. That's pretty good.
Oh, that sounds like a great time.
Hey, good luck with the camp and the golf tournament, and this is awesome. I always love talking to you.
Appreciate you, John. No, thank you for having me on.
Yep, it's always great. Ryan McKnight for video producer Cordell Wright. I'm John, and for the folks at the Gateway Lounge, cheers.
Cheers.
You need anything else, John?
No, I think I'm good, Greg. I think I'm going to tap out.
All right. Have a good night.